Let's go to Scott Martin right now, because there is a concern, and he follows this all the time, that to this theme of it getting cold, that the market might be giving a chilly response to what's happening here, or using it as an excuse to sell. What do you think, Scott?
Neil, I feel like the market is feeling duped these days. I mean, you mentioned with Charles all the cut-ups that the Senate has provided. The sleight of hand, if you will, that D.C. has done yet again to the American people. And maybe that's a factor of, two, Trump's messaging originally being this is phenomenal tax reform and the biggest tax cut America will ever have seen. Well, the reality is this. As the details are coming out, I think if you're an investor in the S&P 500, if you have money in a 401k, you've got to be concerned about these cut-ups the Senate is proposing, and therefore concerned about stock prices here.
You know, I'll leave the corporate stuff out of it for the time being. A drop from 35% to 20% on paper, obviously, that's a big deal, whether it's delayed a year, and they'll work that out. But I do think on the individual side, the idea that you're going to see a noticeable impact, I just don't think that's borne out. And I just see, the more you dig into this idea that you're going to see a substantial tax cut no matter who you are, it's just not going to pan out. Nor, for example, is it going to materialize for folks in high tax states and not just the upper income in those states. What do you think?
I loved your point yesterday, regardless of the feedback, my friend, about the take-home pay. The number that you see hitting your bank account week after week or bi-monthly as however you get paid, that's the number that really matters, Neil. You're right. And the Congress is messing around with the personal exemptions and the standard deductions and moving money from one pocket to another, which, like you pointed out, ends up being higher taxes for many individuals throughout the brackets, and that's something that everybody should be concerned about.
Now, the mortgage industry, banking industry, the home banking industry, more to the point, very, very concerned that all of a sudden owning a home will not be that much of a draw. I talk, to many in the field today who are saying there's very little to compel you to buy a home in this environment. Now, you can make a swap argument and say if you're basing purchasing decisions on tax treatment, that could be dangerous. But is there something to what they say, that the allure of a home and the benefits you get, writing off interest or taxes, that are part of it, is taken away in a lot of states? Then what?
Then you're going to see more pressure on the home front. I mean, you're right. Owning a home or buying a home is not probably what it once used to be, and that's certainly an impact here. And don't forget, too, Neil, what happened earlier this week with the severe beatdown, let's say, that the Republicans took in the elections. I mean, I felt like I was watching a New York Giants football game all over again. And I'll tell you what's interesting about that. It's funny, though, right? Because, you see these congressmen have this punch in at the end of the year about doing this tax reform and these tax cuts. But my goodness, what happens in 2018 when those midterms are oh so close and all of a sudden they recoil and maybe don't stick their necks out as far as they should with respect to delivering something good to the American people? That's something I'm super concerned about here.
All right. Super reaction to this, Scott Martin. Thank you very, very much. All right.